Good morning, everyone. I am Jaisal Masina, and I will be reporting about my research entitled Love at Every Size, a qualitative study on the lived experiences of fur parents owning miniature, standard, large, and giant dog breeds. As a brief introduction to my study, dogs. Dogs are one of the most diverse species on Earth. They can be found in the majority of nations in the world, and many of these regions and states have unique breeds that were developed there and have local and native peculiarities. The registration of dog breeds is governed by specific organizations. These groups are typically confined to individual nations. For instance, the American Kennel Club or the AKC is a US-based regulating body. Other such organizations include the Britain's Kennel Club or KC and the Europe's Continental Kennel Club or CKC and the Federation Cynologic International or the FCI. In the Philippines, it is the Philippine Canine Club Incorporation or PCCI. At present, the AKC recognizes 195 dog breeds. There isn't an internationally agreed upon exact number of canine breeds worldwide. However, sources claim that there is between 195 and 500 dog breeds in the world. Dogs can also be found in a wide range of sizes. According to studies, domestic dogs exhibit the widest variation in body size among all mammals. They are classified into 4 varieties in terms of size, namely the miniature, standard, large, and giant dog breeds. First, as an additional note, this size classification may slightly vary in other nations or in other sources from the internet. This classification I chose from a trusted source is the most common one, and it is also applied here in the Philippines as a dog breed size classification guide. So, dog breed size classification, which is the main focus of my study, again, there are 4, namely the miniature, standard, large, and giant dog breeds. The giant variety are very large dogs weighing around 45 kilograms or more. Their heights range between 22 and 42 inches. The large dog breed variety weighs around 27 to 45 kilograms. Furthermore, the standard variety includes the medium dog breeds. The weight of dogs belonging to this group lie around 10 to 26 kilograms. Lastly, the miniature variety includes miniature dogs that are very small as compared with other breeds. They are further subclassified into 2, namely the toy dogs and the teacup dogs. Toy dogs' heights may range from 6 inches to 15 inches and their weights may vary between 1.8 kilograms and 5.5 kilograms. They are kept exclusively as pets and companions. The second subclassification is the teacup or the tiny dogs that are much smaller than the usual toy dogs, weighing up to 2.5 kilograms, such as the chihuahuas of the tiny sizes. Next slide. For the significance of the study, this study will be significant to future pet owners in order to decide what breed and breed size classification is suited in their lifestyle, budget, and background so that they will not be having a hard time in adjusting once they already procured a fur pet, and to also save much effort and time in having one. It is also significant to current pet owners who would want to know and further learn about the point of view of the select fur parents in this undertaking. Next, statement of the problem. This study primarily aims to inquire into the lived experiences of select fur parents owning miniature, standard, large, and giant dog breeds. Specifically, it seeks to answer the following. Number 1, how did the participants procure their dog and where is its origin? Number 2, what is the diet of the participant's dog in relation to its size classification? And number 3, what are the pros and cons in owning a dog in relation to its size classification? Next slide, regarding the scope and the limitations of the study. It only deals with the lived experiences and perceptions of select fur parents owning only one of the 4 dog breed size classification. Besides this, no other variables are taken into consideration. Additionally, this research is done for purposes of proposing only an educational guide on the significance of knowing the different dog breed size classification and its real-life application. As the limitation, it does not in any way serve as a replacement to the already established teachings or proven studies and facts about the 4 classification of dog breeds. It only supports, explains, and gives description. It expounds further knowledge, and it does not make a substitute in one way or the other. For the methodology, first the research design. This study is qualitative in nature. This method is suitable since the researcher wants to know the unique experiences of the select for parents. The questions can be answered by the details of perception, emotion, and personality characteristics that quantitative studies cannot match. This design focuses on the commonality of a lived experience within a particular group. If ever you're wondering po kung bakit hindi ko siya ginawang comparative study or a comparative qualitative research, since there are four dog breed size category, I can compare and differentiate. Ito po ay dahil ayaw ko nang pahirapan yung sarili ko. Simple as that. Since may experience na po ako sa paggawa ng isang qualitative research as it is, hindi na ako mahihirapan, and magbabago pa kasi yung data analysis na gagamitin ko, yung comparative analysis instead of thematic analysis na nagawa ko na nung high school, kaya medyo gamay ko na if gagawin ko siyang comparative study. So, this also serves as the research gap or limitation ng study na to, which is it only gives description. It does not in any way compare between the four dog breed size classification, yun nga, nature, standard, large, and giant dog breeds. Then, next part of the methodology, participants and sampling. The participants in this study are 8 college students without source of income but their allowance only, living within the vicinity of Pampanga where the researcher also resides. 2 of each owns a pet that is included in the 4 dog breed size classification. This variable mentioned is the chosen research scope of the researcher in order to narrow down the scope of the study, and para rin yung mga makuha na response from the interview is saturated na, since they are all from a specific group of people, which again are college students at the same time for parents. They were selected via purposive sampling method with the criteria of, ayun nga, again and again, for parents owning at least one pet dog of the 4 breed size classification, namely the miniature, standard, large, and giant dog breeds. Next, instrument and data collection. For the instrument, the researcher constructed interview questionnaires that gathered the relevant data needed for assessment and evaluation. The respondents were contacted via Facebook Messenger to get their initial consent in participating in this study. Then, Google Form was used to conduct the online interview. The researcher's teacher in biochemistry served as the initial validator. Then, last for the methodology, the data analysis. For the analysis of the data gathered, thematic analysis was used, and according to Caulfield 2019, thematic analysis is a method of analyzing qualitative data. It is usually applied to a set of texts such as interview transcripts. The researcher closely examines the data to identify common themes, topics, ideas, and patterns of meaning that come up repeatedly. So, next slide. The Google Form content or the online interview itself as the data collection procedure of this study. Ginawa ko na lang po siyang online interview through Google Forms since ito yung easiest, most convenient way, both for me as the researcher and for my chosen participants as well, instead yung traditional way of interview na face-to-face. So, ayun. The form is divided into 4 sections. For the section 1, the introduction, email of the participant, and a formal consent in agreeing to be part of this undertaking. Next slide. For the section 2, owner or fur parent demographic information, age, sex, year level, and course. Next, section 3, pet information, name of the pet dog, breed of the pet dog, date of birth, age, sex, and lastly, its dog breed size classification. Then, the last section, the interview proper, that consisted of 4 questions mainly based on my SOPs or statement of the problems. Number 1, how did you procure your dog? Where is its origin? Briefly narrate the background story on how and where did you get your pet and why and how you decided to keep it. For the second question, what is the diet of your dog? How many times and how many kilograms does it eat in a day? Please elaborate and narrate specific unique eating habits of your pet if there is any. Then the third one, What are the pros in owning a pet dog in relation to its size classification? Kindly state at these 3 points. You may narrate any specific or unique experiences about your pet in terms of dealing with its size classification, miniature, standard, large, or giant. Then the last one is, what are the cons in owning a pet dog in relation to its size classification? Kindly state at least 3 points. You may narrate any specific or unique experiences about your pet in terms of dealing with its size classification. Then, for the last part, a photo attachment of the pet dog of the fur parent for documentation purposes. For the next video clips, the result of the data collection will be presented, including the Google form content or the interview itself, then a summary of the data collected, then key point coding, and lastly is categorizing of themes. Findings and discussion. So, this chapter presents the pertinent data and findings of the study wherein codes F1 to F8 were used, which means for parent 1 to for parent 8. This section also presents the discussion of the findings of the study that seeks to analyze, interpret, and describe the implications of the results in light of what was already understood about the research issue being investigated and to explain new understandings or fresh observations about the problem of this undertaking. First, the first statement of the problem. How did the participants procure their dog and where is its origin? So, based on the responses, it was revealed that four participants got their dog as a gift from their loved ones, 3 from a close and immediate family member, and 1 participant got theirs from a friend. Next, 3 participants bought their pet, 1 from a kennel house, 1 from an acquaintance, and 1 online. 3 of the participants decided to actually keep the pet as it was given to them as a gift. 1 participant wholeheartedly accepted it from their friend also as a gift as it was actually their dream pet, which is a golden retriever. 1 bought it from a kennel house out of boredom, 1 from an acquaintance, 1 bought it online to ease the heartbreak of losing a pet before their current one, and lastly, 1 participant got their dog as an offspring of their current dog, and it was actually the only dog that survived from the litter of the mother dog due to some kind of virus. That's why they decided to keep it. Due to the data collection being one way, the researcher was not able to ask more follow-up questions to cover all the required topics and collect enough data. However, going back to the main objective on why this first SOP was included, according to sources and to further expound the said experiences of the participants in getting their pet, there are several factors that should be considered first in procuring a pet dog. Number 1, the cost and responsibility should be calculated as having a dog can also be a financial commitment. Second, picking one should be based on one's way of life or lifestyle and not just the appearance or breed of the dog. And the third and most important one, it should be put into mind that having one is considered as a commitment for a lifetime. A dog's average lifespan is between 10 to 13 years, and in terms of dog breed size classification, according to several sources, the larger the dog, the shorter their life expectancy. A dog's body size is actually the most important variable in predicting lifespan, more important than whether or not the dog was purebred. Moving on to the second objective, which seeks to answer what is the diet of the participant's dog in relation to its size classification. 4 specific themes emerge. 4 participants give dog food mixed with nutritious human food such as viand, liver, fruits, veggies, and meat to their dog. And 1 from these 4, specifically participant F1, also gives vitamin supplementation to their miniature Dachshund pet. On the other hand, 3 participants give pure dog food to their dog, then 1 participant gives pure leftover viand to their Aspen pet. It can also be observed with the responses that their pets eat for at least once, twice, or thrice a day, with varying size portions in terms of their pet's size classification, wherein miniature dog breeds eat less, with the mentioned portion of 250 grams a day from a miniature fur parent participant, and large and giants eat the most with the mentioned portion of 1 kilogram and 1.5 to 2.5 kilograms of food a day from the large and giant fur parent participants. Also, brands of dog food mentioned include Top Breed Adult, Beef Pro, and Special Dog Adult dog food, which, according to sources, are also some of the most common commercially available dog food brands in the Philippines. Furthermore, it is also recommended to include human nutritious foods such as veggies, fruits, liver, meat to a dog's diet, may it be a miniature, standard, large, or giant dog breed. But nevertheless, pure dog food or pure kibble diet is also entirely acceptable as a dog's diet. Moreover, for participant F4 with an Aspen pet, their dog's diet is a pure leftover viand or ulam twice a day. However, it should be noted that, according to sources, homemade human food or viand contains preservatives such as soy sauce and salt. This is fine for dogs to consume in moderation. However, too much of these preservatives such as salt can lead to several complications such as salt toxicosis and even in the long run, such as accumulation of kidney stones just like in humans. As a conclusion for the second statement of the problem, proper nutrition and balanced diet is essential for a dog. These animals, just like humans, need a certain combination of protein, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water every day in order to function normally. And without adequate nutrition, a dog would not be able to perform normal daily activities with ease or fight off infection and diseases. Moving on to this section that shows the last objective of the study, what are the pros and cons in owning a dog in relation to its size classification? For the miniature dog breed size classification, 3 themes emerge in terms of the advantages in having a miniature dog, including less food and maintenance costs, takes up less space, and they are easier to handle. On the other hand, there are 4 mentioned downsides in terms of having a miniature dog. The first downside is that they are prohibited to stay on elevated areas to prevent injuries, connecting this to the second downside, which is miniature dogs are fragile and sensitive. Studies show that small or miniature dog breeds are more sensitive compared to other dog size category as their bones are thinner and more fragile. In terms of participant F1's Dachshunds do have sensitive spines, that is why they should be handled with utmost care. Next, the third one is that they are very active and energetic, which in the point of view of participant F1, this is considered as a disadvantage as according to the fur parent, they are always having a hard time chasing their pet whenever he goes out of the house. Lastly, participant F2 experiences coprophagia in their miniature chihuahua. Coprophagia is the practice of eating stool or feces. It does not actually just happen to miniature dog breeds but as well as to other dog breed sizes. Coprophagia in dogs may be a possible indication of underfeeding, imbalanced diet, vitamin and mineral deficiencies, and other underlying causes. In a study, findings revealed that 16% of dogs sampled engage in frequent coprophagy. Despite of this, coprophagia is usually harmless, but it can spread infectious diseases or parasite to a dog. It can also cause gastroenteritis that results in vomiting and diarrhea. That is why it is recommended to visit a veterinarian if a dog does it in an unusual amount of times. So, for the next dog breed size classification, for parent F3 owning a Siberian Husky and participant F4 with an Asong Pinoy or Aspen pet were interviewed. 3 themes emerge in terms of the advantages in having a standard dog. They are a perfect cuddle buddy, they are considered as a good home guard dog, and they are very obedient, easy to train, and well-mannered. On the other hand, 3 themes were also mentioned as disadvantages in having a standard dog size. According to the participants, they are hard to travel with, and contrary to the advantages mentioned for miniature dogs, standard dogs take up more space and they have high food and maintenance costs. For the next dog breed size classification, 2 fur parents owning large breed size golden retrievers were interviewed. Same as with the standard dogs, large dogs are perfect cuddle buddies as they are very affectionate. They are also well-mannered and they are very active and energetic and happy pills in the point of view of the interviewed golden retriever for parents. On the other hand, 4 themes appeared as the disadvantage in having a large dog pet. They have a high food and maintenance cost. They play bite. It can also be very hard to manage their stool or excretas, especially if they are not potty trained. And lastly, participant F6 experienced pica problem in their golden retriever. So pica is defined as the persistent chewing and consumption of non-nutritional substances that provide no physical benefit to the animal. It does not actually just happen to large dog breeds, but as well as to other dog breed sizes. A pet owner should ensure plenty of exercise and mental stimulation to their pet. They should also consider environmental enrichment such as food puzzles, and lastly, fur parents should eliminate access to objects that their dog may eat to prevent this problem. Then, for the last dog breed size classification, the giant dogs. 6 themes emerge as the pros in having gentle giant pets. They are also perfect cuddle buddies like the latter breed size discussed. They are very good home guard dog, very active and energetic. They are well-mannered contrary to the popular belief or misbelief by others, and they are also considered as happy pills according to the interviewed giant pet owners. Lastly, according to participant F7 that owns a St. Bernard, they are good dogs for flexing purposes. As according to this participant, there are only 3 known St. Bernards in the city in which he resides, and two of those 3 are his. On the other hand, 4 themes were mentioned in terms of the disadvantages in having giant dog breeds. According to the participants, they also have high food and maintenance costs, and stool management may be a problem. Also, according to participant F7 with a St. Bernard, his pet sheds every day. That is why vacuum in their house is a necessity. Then for the last theme, breed discrimination was experienced by participant F8 owning an American Bully, as according to this participant, people are afraid to enter their house because of their dog. Next, as an overall conclusion, scientifically, interacting with animals has been shown to decrease levels of cortisol, a stress-related hormone. Furthermore, studies have found that animals can reduce loneliness, increase feelings of social support, and boost one's mood. However, owning a pet also comes with a great responsibility that may last for many years, even for a lifetime. Several factors should be considered, and it may actually change the way a person lives after having one. Despite this, pets do not really ask for much, and their benefit for us humans way more than the maintenance and needs they get from us. The following recommendations were given by the researcher for the improvement of this study and to also develop a new one out of the suggestion. For accuracy and credibility of the study, increase the number of participants, as this study only covered 8 college students living within the vicinity of Pampanga where the researcher resides. It is suggested to employ a semi-structured interview wherein the researcher will not strictly follow the interview guide to be able to ask specific or follow-up questions to the participants to make sure to cover all the required topics based on the research problems. And lastly, it is also recommended to change the research design into a comparative qualitative analysis in order to further compare and differentiate the lived experiences and point of views of select fur parents owning each of the 4 dog breed size classification. Next slide, references used and the appendices. That's all po. Thank you.